Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's a battle report that we're going to shoot a very small on a small table, but in order for us to see how some of the mechanics and the rules of test of resolve work. It's a very small battle, but I think it's going to be fun with the 100 Years War miniatures, and we have all the cards here. I have only one D12 die, but I think it doesn't matter. I mean, we'll get another one soon. So before we start, it's just a scenario, a small contingent. We're going to call them battles, but obviously they're very small for battles, but we're going to call it battles to see how the rules work. A small contingent of English men-at-arms and longbowmen have been out for a chevauchée. They reached a small village, the cultivated areas, in order for them to get some provisions for the main army. And a little bit larger vanguard, the vanguard of the French, with 3 men-at-arms mounted. Should we put household knights? I don't know. They're a small unit. They're a small battle, but we'll see. And another, let's say, command of crossbowmen and troops, foot troops, we'll go into detail, have ambushed them on the way out of the city. Here is, let's say, the hedges, the day out of the city. When they were reaching the main road, they were ambushed, and now they are in defensive position and they have to fight it out. So let's talk about the English first. So obviously this is a company of longbowmen. It cannot be an actual battle, but we'll consider it as a battle or a command because it's just one. So we have let's say a company of longbowmen that they are in defensive position, so they can shoot an arrow storm behind stakes that give them some advantages. You can see in the red dice we have the resolve is of the longbowman is 3, and they give 1 to the whole battle. They give a +1, so the battle has 1 point. Obviously it doesn't depict the rules perfectly because at least we should have had 2, but nevertheless we're fighting a small battle just for understanding the game. Here the center division is the battle at the center. They are English men-at-arms commanded by a captain. They have 4 resolve points and they give 6 to the whole battle. And on the left flank of the English, another company of longbowmen. They have resolve of 3 and they give 1 to, let's say, the whole battle. I think I should remove this. It doesn't make sense because, but nevertheless, let's see how it works. Here are the build-up area, the small village, the outskirts of the village, and before we reach, there is a a kind of shed, not shed, some kind of little sort of wall, village wall that protects the outer parts of the village before you enter the main road. So let's see the French. The French have 3 mounted units, mounted companies of men-at-arms with a commander. This is a commander. The English have only a captain, and each has 4 resolve points, adding together a 9 battle morale rating. So these mounted guys are ready for business. They are under headlong charge, because I'm going to give them an extra move before we start drawing the cards. So they're under headlong charge. That means that they will be under, applicable of obviously arrow storm, but at the same time crowding. These guys are focused on these men-at-arms. They're focused. They are not going to be interested in the longbowmen at all. So if their frontage is extended, so it is extended, there are 3 units against 2, they will be subject to funneling, and this could be crowding also. And the other company here, the one supporting them under a captain, it's a company of crossbowmen and a good commons foot troop. So good commons troops, basically militia, who are well trained. You see the difference here of the militia who are well trained. You see they have, they're less armored. I'm trying to depict as much as I can historical accuracy. I really don't want to have militia units looking like men-at-arms. And the man at arms, as you can see here, are a little bit more, well, much more well equipped. So this is the situation, and I think we're going to have fun. It's the first battle for some time. I have this small table, it's like the disaster, but nevertheless I think it works. Let's start with the game. So let us start. So before you start drawing cards and start the sequence of the game, the battle that is under headlong charge, it's focused. It's, you know, it doesn't care about anybody. It focuses on their opponents, the English men at arms. You roll a d12 in order to see, to move them in inches before the start of the card drawing. So you give them an advantage. They're so focused. Obviously these are disadvantages sometimes, as we saw from the French, but you give them an initial advantage of movement. So we need to roll and see. So we need to roll and see how many inches they will move initially, the mounted man at arms. So we're rolling, and we roll a 2. So we roll a 2, and let's see what the 2, just 2 inches, plus 2, 4, because the mounted get a plus 2, plus the die roll, and let's see. So the knights will move 4 inches together, not a very good advantage, 4 inches. I was expecting more. They will move as a division, as a battle. They are within 4 inches from each other. The supporting, when a unit support, when a company, let's be exact, supports one another, for mounted is 4 inches, for foot is 2 inches. So they're in very close proximity to each other. They want to support each other because they get outnumbering. Basically, the support. Basically, they get outnumbering against their opponents. So they need to be close, as it used to be when you were fighting in the 100 Years' War. Let's put the commander in the back. So the French are moving, and now we start with the card, the playing deck. Obviously the other battle is not under headlong charge. So we shuffle the card. We have a card that is for the French, and the playing deck, as we said, we draw all the blue until we find the first red. So the first red was found, we put the card here, and this is our playing deck. So this is basically, these cards is our playing deck. So let's see what will be our first card. So we draw for the French, and we have secured commanders. We haven't captured any commander, so we don't have anything. We discard it, and the next one is end turn, and that's a problem, because if the end turn of the English is drawn as well, the game will end. We have to draw new cards, and we go aim, fire, strength and resolve. So that means that all the missile troops of the French will shoot, and then all the companies will try to strengthen their resolve, but we don't have any resolve reduced, so it's not required at the moment. So let's see if the archers have aimed fire. That means that they don't have an arrow storm. Obviously the crossbowmen, and the distance is 15 inches. Yeah, I think we can give it to the crossbowman. 15 inches, and it is within range. You see here, it is within range. So let's have a look and see how this works. Let's go a bit closer. So we're rolling, and let's see the modifiers. We're rolling aim fire, so the bow range is 10 to 15, so we have a -1. We don't have any resolve point loss. We are shooting against the bow, so we get a +1. So we get a +1 for shooting against bow, probably because of their quality of armor. We were shooting in the front of flanker, so we get a +1 manual. So it's a straight roll that we need, +9. So let's roll, and we have a 5, and we fail. We didn't do anything, but we have a strength and resolve card, but we cannot play it because the resolve has not been reduced by anyone. So a failed crossbow fire. So we continue. So obviously you understand with the small armies like this, I mean, for example, if you had a bigger army, you had 3 crossbowmen or 4 or 5 longbowmen, then you would have shot with more. So you would have probably more chance. So let's create the next battle deck that is basically only 1 card, and then it's again a blue one. So let's see the English what they will do. Ooh, and the English have move, melee, and arrow storm. So we drew an arrow storm, and let's see how arrow storm works. Arrow storm, as you can see on the table, has a range of 0 to 15, and it's applicable only in units in battles that are in headlong charge. So yes, we have it headlong charge here 15, and the same from here we have. Now the arrow storm, the difference between arrow storm and aim fire is that the arrow storm is shooting, and any hits, wounds can be inflicted in all the battle. So if you go to the arrow storm chart, we're not in cover, we haven't lost any resolve points, we're not hitting household and man-at arms, we are not hitting commons and bow, but we're hitting mounted. So we get a +1. So we have a +1 in the arrow storm. 2 units will shoot arrow storm, so both have the same modifiers, and we need to hit above 9+. So let's roll. So we roll a 12. Ooh. Oh, we roll a 12. Oh, that's a good one. Let's remember this. So the first English unit rolls a 12. And let's see the second. Basically, it's natural 12. Rolls a 5 +1 a 6. A 6 doesn't do any damage, but the 12 will. And let's see what the 12 does. The 12 basically, as you can see from the chart here, the 12, 11 to 12, they're subject to crowding, and 12 has a flesh wound. That means that the commander has to roll to see if he's wounded. So this is very good. This is very good. So these guys are subject to crowding. So we'll see which unit has been shot at, and we divide them in by 4. There are 3 units who have a 12 dice. So the first unit here on the left flank will be successfully shot at with for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12. So let's roll and see. And 4. So we have this unit, and makes sense. This unit is so. And now we have to see if crowding is applicable. Now, how crowding works, the English will roll a die, the French will roll a die, and the winner, if the English are winning, we have crowding. So the English roll 11, and the French roll a 2. So we have crowding. So let's go and see how the rules work. So the center division, the center company will lose another resolve point, and they will go to 3. And that means also the battle loses another resolve point, and it will go to 7. So a little bit of crowding here for the French, a little bit of issues. They are obviously in a congested area. They're funneling, they're moving towards their opponents. Good defensive position for the English, and good shooting from the English longbowmen who are in defensive stance, and crowding. The French pushed each other, and more resolve points were lost. So the French are seeing the problems of frontage, the problems of funneling and crowding. They're attacking the English headlong without any organization as they used to do because of their honor, but they are getting in trouble. So let's go and create another playing card again until the English card appears, and that's the playing deck here. So let's draw and see, and we draw Flummoxed. Ooh, that's bad. So Flummoxed means that this remaining card will go to the English. The French are disorientated because of the crowding, because of the funneling. They're disorientated, and archers fire and strength and resolve. That's good for the English. Now, archers fire, though both archers will fire again. This is not obviously an arrow storm, it's aimed fire. And they can strengthen the resolve, but obviously they don't have any resolve issues, the English, yet, because they haven't had contact with anybody. So they see, they Flummoxed. Oh, I love this game. And now they have to shoot again. The English are shooting again. So let's see. The English obviously will try and shoot. They are within their range, 15 inches. I think they should shoot. They will shoot at the mounted, because they want to weaken them even more before they attack here. So let's do a roll again, aim fire. And here is the table, you can see. Now aim fire, we roll a D12, and let's see, it's a 10 to 15, so we get a minus. It's 0 to no, it's 10 to 15, correct? Because 0 to 10 here, yeah. So it's 10 to 15 for these guys. So it's a -1. We're fighting against the men-at-arms, so no, nothing, but we're shooting at mounted. So we get a +1, so it's a clear roll because it's +1, -1, and let's see. So we're rolling for 1 English unit, and it rolls a 1. Ooh, that's a terrible 1, and that means that the English, who are started well supplied, because when you're in defensive position, you start always well supplied, will not be able to shoot in the next round. They're lucky because they rolled a 1, and the next shooting card that will appear, this unit won't be able to shoot. I need to mark it somehow. Let's put, I'm using some Blood and Crown cards. So these guys will not be able to shoot in the next round because they rolled this 1. But they're well supplied. If they were not well supplied, they would not be able to shoot again for the rest of the battle, and they would have been only a melee unit. So that's terrible for the English, and let's roll again. And we roll an 11, and that's very good. When you roll an 11 in aimed fire, it means that there is 1 resolve point loss from this unit here of the French, the one that is within the range of the English, the one on the flanks. Arrowstorm aimed fire doesn't have funneling or any, well, funneling, doesn't have crowding, so we'll take this and it will be a 3. The French are already getting hammered, and that means we will remove this. We reach 6 battle morale points. So good shooting for the English, but a problem here because the English will not be able to shoot in the next round. But they're lucky because it's only for 1 round. So let's continue. Another English card I forgot, yeah. So another English card, and this is an Arrowstorm. So this is an Arrowstorm. The playing deck didn't finish with 2. So the Arrowstorm, as we said, this English unit won't be able to shoot because they rolled a 1 in the previous shooting, and they're out of supplies temporarily. So the Arrowstorm will be only from these guys here. So let's go and check the Arrowstorm and how it works. We saw it, we have 15 inches, yes, we are within 15 inches. We said the Arrowstorm is general, it hits everybody within range, and then we'll see which one he hits. So they are 10 to 15 inches. Let's see if we hit on mounted. We get a +1, so the English get a +1, they don't have an RP loss. So let us see. So the English roll a 7 +1 and 8. They need a +9 to hit of the Arrowstorm, so they were very close, but they didn't manage to hit the French. And as we said, this unit doesn't shoot because it's already out of supplies temporarily. We don't have any strength and resolve here because we don't have strength and resolve. We have move and melee and Arrowstorm. We're in defensive position, we don't want to move. So the English, well, missed the opportunity here of a 7 of weakening the French even more. So let's continue now with the French playing deck. It's 1, actually, let's see, until we find the English playing deck. 1, 2, so 2. We remove the arrow. Now the English can shoot. So the playing deck is 2, and let's roll for the French. Move and melee, and now we're getting into business. Move and melee, so the French will probably move the mounted knights. I don't know if we'll be able to melee, but it's 12 inches, obviously, but they will move obviously as a battle. So let's roll and see how many inches this company, the mounted company of the French, will move, and then we'll roll for the crossbowmen and the good commons troops, the militia. So let's roll for the mounted, and they roll a 7. That means a 7 +2. They get a +2 modifier. The mounted is a 9, and let's roll for the foot. Sorry. And they roll a 10. So a 10 and a 9. We have another card. Let's not forget. So let's see a 10 and a 9. So the crossbowmen are moving. So what's happening here? We're moving. Melee, obviously, we're not going to do. We're moving 10 inches. The whole division, the whole battle. The good thing with these rules, you can fight with smaller battles. or bigger if you want. I think for me, this here would have been great if it was a little bit more, you know, a bit bigger. I will fix it. But just keep in mind that there is no issue with the basing. You can use any basing you want. Now let's see here what's going to happen. Let's see here things are becoming interesting. So we're moving here 9 inches. And this means that the extended unit, this unit, see my hands, this unit, this company is reaching closer to 15 inches from the longbowmen. Now the longbowmen are not their target. The target of a headlong charge are the infantry, the men at arms. This is where they're going to go. This is where the money is. So they have to funnel in when at the first move. They have to close behind their comrades in order to attack the target. So we're moving 10 inches, 9 inches. So 9 inches is here because we had 7 plus 2, 9. So we're not going to have melee. So the two companies of mounted men-at-arms, the French targeting their opponents, targeting the English men-at-arms, they don't care about the low-born longbowmen. They don't really care about them. They don't care at all. So let's put the commander here because I'm going to define. So what's going to happen now? These guys are going to funnel in, go behind their comrades because the longbowmen here are not their target. They don't care about the longbowmen, and they will move 1 inch behind their comrades. So they will be pressing and supporting, but there's a chance they will push more their first ranks and they will create crowding, but we'll discuss about this. So we move 1 inch behind them. Obviously any minor mistakes or mistakes I made on the rules, I apologize. I'm sure that will clarify them in future videos. So you see now the knights are funneling in and they're ready to charge the knights, the foot knights. So let's see it a bit better now. For the mounted knights funneling in and closing behind the ranks. They don't care about the longbowmen, they care only about the men-at-arms, and they're ready to fight. So the next card to finish the playing deck is Move and Melee. Another great card for the French, because now they will charge, they will get the charge bonus, and they will fight. Now this is very critical to see what, because if I roll with a Move and Melee, a very high roll, and that obviously I will attack and I will be able to charge my opponents. And these guys will have more than on each extra move that they cannot do. That means they will crash in the back of my mounted and they will create crowding. And that would be, I will roll again to see if they lose another result point. So by, let's say, the distance here, let me give you an example how this works. I'm going to read it again also. So let's say the distance here is 4. And I roll, and when we roll for the company, an 6, plus 2 for the mounted, it's an 8. So we can charge our opponents easily. But an 8 would mean probably these guys need a 6 to reach the back and touch the back of their comrades in the front row in order for them to give support. That means that they will have 2 extra inches that they're not going to use. So they are impetuous, they're moving very fast, so they have to stop quickly. So if this is more than 1, that means 2, that means they will stop crushing, pushing suddenly the front ranks, and they will cause crowding. Very nice roll. So let's roll and see what's going to happen. So we're rolling for the French movement. Ooh, and they roll a 10. Ooh, and they roll a 10. Now that means what? That these guys will reach the English comfortably, but the men-at-arms behind them will have had so much speed that they will crash in the back of the comrades in the front ranks, and they may cause them crowding, and we have to roll for crowding tests. So we roll an 8, Move and Melee, the knights charge. It's basically a 10 because we get a +2. So the first division's charge, they're ignoring the knights, the mounted knights, they're ignoring the foot knights, they're ignoring the longbowman. And here, let's see here how this works. So we roll a 10. So in order for these guys to reach here, they need a 6, 5. That means 5 extra inches are lost. They're so fast, they're so impetuous, they don't manage, and immediately they attack and they hit there quickly. You know, they couldn't find time to stop their mounts from, you know, controlling them. So now we have to roll for crowding. They're crowding there, man. Maybe they will lose another resolve point. So we're rolling for crowding. It's a, you know, head-to-head die roll. The English roll an 8, and the French roll a 4. And the English roll better and it's crowding, and another resolve point is removed from these guys, who will go at 2 from 4. Before even hand-to-hand combat started, the French, because of crowding, how historically accurate is the game, and the battle morale point goes to 5. The French need urgently to increase their resolve, so these guys hit. These guys is creating crowding, panic. The French are pushed left and right, and they lose another resolve point. And now we have hand-to-hand combat. So we're moving melee. Now we're doing the melee, and we finish this stick. So we're fighting hand-to-hand combat between the mounted knights and the men-at-arms, mounted men-at-arms and foot men-at-arms of the English. Now, who has the initiative? The initiative is by the French. So I will decide who is going to be the main, let's say, unit fighting. The prime, how it's called, remember it? So I'm going to decide the principal unit fighting. Because obviously here the principal units and the principal defenders are very obvious, but maybe if I had a flank, I could have chosen the flank attack. So we'll start from here. There is a principal attacker and the principal defender, and it's a straight hand-to-hand combat. There is no outnumbering, at least in this case. They have support, all of them. So it's a straight roll with, let's see the modifiers though. So first of all, we have the French knights who are attacking, so they have a shock attack because they're attacking, they're a good ground, and they get a shock, they get a +1, as you can see. Now they're fighting men-at-arms, so they have a +0. They're not isolated, as you can see. They're not attacking the flank or rear. They don't have a barrier against them. The others are not defending. So basically I can see shock +1, but we have to remove -1 per resolve point lost. They have a 3, so that means they get a -1. They have 1 resolve point lost. So it's +1 -1, so we roll a straight D12. So let's go and see. So the French are rolling a stale D12, and they roll a 5. So a 5 against the English, let's put it so we can remember it. Now we'll go to the English, and let's again see what they have. They are men-at-arms, so they don't have a +1. They're not isolated. They are fighting men-at-arms, but they don't have any resolve points lost. So basically nothing. There is nothing. There's a straight die roll. So let's go and see what the English will roll. So the English rolling, and they roll a 7. And the English roll a 7. Let's put it 5 + 2, 7. So the English rolled a 7 and the French rolled a 5. The English won by 2. So let's go and see the resolution, the results of the battle. So the English won by 2. That means that losing by 2 to 5, you lose 1 resolve point. So the French will lose 1 resolve point and they will go to 2. That means that their battle morale point will move to 4. They had a 5, they will move to 4. And I put this because I like dice. I like seeing actually what's happening. People can make, notes, no big issue. Now the losing company must take a resolve test. If it fails, it turns tail. If the company is not permitted to move, then it loses another resolve point and immediately fights a further melee. So let's see. Well, they will be able to move. So let's roll and see a resolve test for the French. So let's go to the resolve test chart, as you can see. So resolve table, so they have, they're not isolated per resolve point lost. So we have lost already 2 resolve points, as you can see. So they're -2, and so they're -2. They're not household, they're not men-at-arms, they don't have commander to get a +1. So they roll with a -2. They need to roll above the resolve points they have. So Let me explain to you. They need to roll their resolve points loss plus. So they've lost already 2 resolve points, so they need to roll a 2 plus, so they need to roll a 3. As we said, they have a -2, so they need to roll a 5. So the knights need to roll a 5 in order not to turn tail and pass the resolve test. So we're rolling, and they roll in 6, and they barely pass. Very good. They pass the resolve test, and they're fine. They continue fighting. So the French, although they lost a resolve point, they lost from the English, they didn't turn tail, they didn't fall back, they passed the resolve test, and now they're fighting. They keep fighting, they continue fighting. Now, we have this hand-to-hand combat now, they're gonna fight, but here we have outnumbering because the unit in the back is pressing, is supporting, so we have outnumbering here. So the French will get quite a substantial advantage here. Let's see the table so we can see what the French will roll. So you can see they have a shock of +1 because they're attacking. They have outnumbering, they're per outnumbering, they have 1 outnumbering, so they get a +2. There's no barrier, they don't have any, do they have any? They have 2 resolve point lost. 2, we forgot about this, about the crowding. So 2 and 2 is 0. Ooh, you see all this crowding and all this, how problems is created. The fighting against men-at-arms, I don't see any issues. So it is a straight roll because all the advantages of the French, the outnumbering, the charge they have, you know, the bonus they get with the shock attack, it was annihilated. It is nullified because they lost 2 resolve points. So let's roll and see. It's a straight roll. So we're rolling for the French, and we're rolling a 4. So the French rolled a 4. Let's go and check now the English, and what are the English rolling. Now the English here, they have basically no advantages at the moment. They are fighting men-at-arms. They don't have resolve points removed from them. So I don't think they have anything. It's a straight roll, I think, in Mali. But they have a commander. They have a commander, but the commander is only for... it supports when you take resolve tests, where he supports in morale. So I don't see anything. Yeah, okay. So let's go. So let's roll for the English. And the English roll a 9. And that's good. So we have a 4 and 9. The English win by 5. So the English roll a 9 and the French roll a 4. The English win by 5. And let's go and see what is the result when you lose by 5. I think it's the same. When you lose 2 to 6, you have to take a resolve test, and then the losing company takes a resolve loss, so the French are going to 1, and things are not looking good. And they have to take a resolve test. If they pass, they continue. If they lose, they turn tail. So let's check the table and see the resolve test for the French. They have a commander, so it helps. So a resolve test. So they have losses. They have 3 losses, so that's quite bad. They're -3. They have a commander, so they get a +1, so they're -2. And I don't think they have anything else. They're not isolated, they have support, so they're fine. So yeah, I think we're okay. So they have a -1 basically. The commander saves the day. They have a 1 here. So let's roll and see. They have a -1, so they need basically they've lost 3 resolve points, so they need to roll a 4, but they have a -1, so they need a 5. So the French need a 5, they're rolling, and they roll a 7. They're lucky, they pass, they don't have to fall back and turn tail. So now I have the English play deck. Now we finished hand-to-hand combat, and we'll draw the 1 card of the play deck. And it's St. George. Oh yes, St. George. Let's see what St. George gives to the English. So St. George, St. Denis and St. Andrew, depending on what unit armies you have, either one battle's bow or artillery company may use aimed fire with a +1 modifier. So I can use my bowmen to attack the aimed fire with a +1 modifier. One battle may roll to move with an additional +2 movement distance, so I can give a +2, or if I had mounted +4. And the other one company may become the principal attacker with a +2 modifier for the first round. This company must be either already in contact with the enemy company, or if in good terrain, may move up to 2 or 4 inches for mounted directly forward into contact. Movement die roll no movement die roll required, and then melee. So we have already, so this is a great advantage for the English. Now they can finish the French. So what's happening? I got St. George, I'm already in melee, this is my principal, I will make him principal attacker, and I will attack with a +2, I will get a +2 modifier. This is ongoing melee. I use this Blood and Crowns cards. There are some cards in Test of Resolve system website that I haven't printed yet, so just to remember that this attack and this attack are ongoing. Because you don't get the bonus anymore for these guys. So we roll straight dice, but we have a +2. So we're rolling for the English, and we roll a 6, and +2 is an 8. So let's remember 5 and 3, the English rolled an 8, and things are looking bad for the French. Now the French, if we check their melee table, they are numbering the English, so they get a +1. They don't have anything more, just their numbering because of this true pressing from the back. The English are not isolated, they have support here. But the French have lost 3 resolve points, so they have a +1, -3, so they have a -2. So they have a -2, so they will roll with a -2. So let's see. So the French are rolling with -2, and they're rolling an 8. -2, it's a 6. So the French roll a 6, the English rolled a 9, and that means the difference, in English roll an 8 of 2. If you go to the resolution, 2 out of 6, it's you lose 1 resolve point. And that means that the French are out. They have 1 resolve point. The battle will go to 2 now. Things are not looking good for the French, and the French are out, are finished from this battle, are destroyed. So guys, let's continue and see what's happening now. So the French mounted knights, mounted man-at-arms broke, and we lost another battle morale point. We're at 2. If we reach 0, it would mean that we have to take a battle morale test. But now Bernard Guesclin, he was attached to this unit, and now we have to roll to see if he will be captured. There is a command capture table, as you can see, and we have to roll company eliminated when in contact with enemy. If failed, join a company in the same battle or flee, escape if none. So what's going to happen now, we have to use the command capture table and see if the English will capture Bernard Guesclin, and he will go to this unit that captured him. Otherwise, he will elude them and he will go to another company of the battle, and that would be most probably these guys here, who have also more resolve points. So let's see. So the English need a +5. Ooh, and they roll a 9. And Bertrand de Guesclin is captured. The French can recapture him if they want, if they win the battle, and they eliminate them in the melee, but Bertrand de Guesclin is captured, and things are not looking at all good for the French. They take him back, and let's see the next card for the English, if it's secure commanders, milling around. It's a very terrible card, it's milling around, so they do nothing. So Bertrand de Guesclin is captured, but now we need to see the points that we're getting for Bertrand de Guesclin. Now, these points will be given back to the French if the French recapture him. But currently, these points will be given to the English. So let's see the situation, because now things are very fun. So we captured Bertrand de Guesclin. Okay, he should have been a VIP commander, but making him normal commander. Now, the battle that lost the commander has to give 2 battle morale points to the opposing battle. That means 2 are the only battle morale points remaining for the French, and they have to be given to the English. This obviously can be given back if the French recapture Bertrand de Guesclin, but currently this is not the case. But now the battle morale points of the French battle is 0. And that means they have to take a battle morale test to see if they will break and flee. You see how it all works together. So let's go and roll for battle morale points. Because of the capture of Bertrand de Guesclin, the knights are very worried now. They don't know what to do. They really don't know how they will react. So let's see here, there is 8 to pass. Commander, is present. No, he's not. There's no commander, is -2. So they need to roll, the French need to roll an 8+ with a -2 modifier because they don't have a commander, and that will mean a 10. Oh, I feel very, 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 very. I think we're going to finish the battle today. So let's roll for the French, and they roll a 5. And a 5 means that the battle is disintegrated. It fails the battle morale test, and the battle is over. The losing battle disperses, and obviously we have these poor guys here that I don't know if they can do anything else. So the battle is dispersed, finished. The men at arms fled. They lost their commander, Bertrand Gaclan, and they're out of the game. So guys, we finished a very small battle. We didn't. A conclusion. I had enormous fun. I hope you did. Depicts perfectly the 3 periods of the 100 Years' War. The rules flow very well. They have the unpredictability I like with the cards, but also they achieve historical accuracy. And all these events, I don't know if it was lucky, you know, the arrow storm, the crowding and the funneling from the men-at-arms, that the battle of the men-at-arms was already with less resolved points until they reached their objective, the English men-at-arms. The hand-to-hand combat that was very unpredictable, and then the English capturing Bertrand de Gaclan, and then immediately losing 2 battle morale points and going to 0 and rolling to see if they would disperse. The commander was captured and the knights dispersed and left the battlefield. I think, I have to say, I'm impressed. I love the rules. Let me know if you want a bigger battle. Let me know if we can fight another battle again with a bit of different, more circumstances. But I think the rules work perfectly. Seriously, I'm really, really happy. I think these rules can work perfectly with campaigns, with characters. They have so much to give to the period. I think it was an enjoyable battle. I hope you enjoyed it as well. I think we understood the rules, how easy they are to follow. I think they work perfectly for the era. I think they have great mechanics that depict the era perfectly. And the only thing I would say negative is they don't have pushbacks. I will ask the authors to write house rules for pushbacks for me. I think they can work pushbacks in hand-to-hand combat. They will be interesting to see, because in this way, if you have pushbacks, you will change also the balance of the hand-to-hand combat. A unit that is supported and it's not isolated maybe become isolated. I don't think it's difficult to have pushbacks. I don't know how. I think the authors could help me. Anyway, brilliant set of rules, extremely exciting, very exciting battle. We finished it in an hour. Small battle, obviously. I highly recommend the rules. I highly, highly recommend the rules. Well done to the guys. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. More battle reports coming up. Have a great weekend. And, well, I don't know if I will post this weekend. Maybe I will post it. And bye-bye.